we go. Hi, good morning, paradigm shifters, or afternoon, or wherever it is that you are. We're so grateful that you are here. So let's take a deep breath in to December 22nd, 2020. And if you were around yesterday, it was winter solstice. And at least here in Texas, we looked at the sky and saw this beautiful star. Jupiter and Saturn coming together. And my story with that is I was going to see it, right? I wanted that energy of that new star, newness coming in, the colliding of the two and newness. So I went out driving yesterday and I was going to find a field and I found one. And there was another car parked there. And I got out of my car. And this lady got out of her car and she said, "Are you looking for the Star of Bethlehem?" I said, "Yes, I am. Hi, Hawaii." And we both looked up and we couldn't tell if the star was there or there or there. And we decided to call it that one. And we said, we didn't know each other. And we said, "It's so beautiful to share this moment with you. To share this Bethlehem moment with you." And I gave her not a high five because we can't touch each other, but a virtual hug. And we went on our way. And it will be a memory of a tradition in 2020 that I will remember. So welcome once again. It's Paradigm Shifters. Guess what? As of today, we have 573 members. Woo! It keeps growing and growing and growing because we are people dedicated to the shift, global shift in all of us and uplifting the world. So today, the title today is Traditions, Old and New. And this is going to be an invite you're in. And I invited my good friend, Kasha. You want to unmute yourself? And also another good friend, Diana from Hawaii is here. And another friend, Beverly from Canada is here. And Carol is here from California, and Bill Marino. So what I would love to have you do is to talk about possibly, your name, where you're from, and a tradition that you are used to, those traditions you thought, man, we're going to carry them down from my grandmother and my all that. And perhaps this is the year where we can't do those, or maybe we'll twist them around. And what are you bringing in for a new tradition for this year? So I know Diana has to leave in about 20 minutes, right? She's got a class. So Kat, is it okay if Diana from Hawaii goes first? Hi, Diana, come on in. I am so glad that you are here.
Hi, Judy. It's so lovely to be with your tribe here, and great to see you, Bill. It's been a long time since we've seen each other in person. So a holiday tradition that I always had, I used to be a chef before I worked as a coach. And one of my favorite holiday traditions was baking cookies. I love chocolate chip cookies. They're my very favorite cookie in the world. So every Christmas, I would always make a big batch and make them for my nieces and nephews. And then I'd also make like sugar cookies, and we would do decorating and all that kind of stuff. And this year I'm in Hawaii, and my family, many of them are on the mainland. So they're in Texas or New York and California. So I decided that this year what I would do, since everybody's separate but connected, is find another way to really connect with everybody. And so I'm baking cookies live on Facebook on Christmas Eve. So if anybody wants to join me, you're more than welcome as well. I posted the recipe, has some of my like little funky chef twists in there, and I'll walk everybody through the full process if they want to make them with me. So if you buy the ingredients, I will walk you through making all the cookies and all that. You can join me either on Zoom if you want more like hands-on, or if you just want to watch, you can watch on Facebook, kind of thing. Yeah, and so that's what I'm trying to do, is like as a different tradition, because I do really agree with you, Judy, that during this time it's we can't do what we've always done. So if we can instead approach it with this feeling of curiosity, and like how is this happening for me, not to me? How can I devise a new tradition? How can I create something new in this space? It allows for us to really recognize, how fortunate we are that we have this connection of like internet. Can you imagine like the Spanish flu, where like this kind of thing was happening, and like you didn't even have an internet to connect and know what's going on in the world? Like I think we're so blessed to be going through this in this way. And so I look at the connection that we can have online as something, as a new tradition, kind of like you're saying, Judy.
I'm so looking forward to your cookies.
It'd be fun. Yeah. How
So, just something to throw out there. And that's also something that you can bring your kids to. And they don't even have to mess up the kitchen. We can just watch and eat your cookies. I figured I'd go to the grocery store and get some chocolate chip cookies and watch you make them, and then as you make them.
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, and aloha.
Course. Yeah, yeah. I do have to hop because I have to get ready for a meeting, but I'm so glad I was able to join for a little. And Judy, I would love to chime in and hop on another time and chat with you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Diana.
I'll see you all another time. Thank you.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes,
Bye.
goodbye. There you go. And now we're going to go up to Kat. Kat is a friend from Poland. So can you tell us a little bit about your background, and what are some of the Polish traditions that you would do?
My background, I moved here when I was 8, and we moved to Connecticut. That's where a big Polish community was. And it was actually my mother's side of the family that moved here, my grandma, and then she brought all of us over. And I've lived in Connecticut pretty much all my life, most of my life. And 2 years ago, my husband and I, with our little one, who's now 3, and now we have a new little one. He wasn't here yet, but we moved to Texas 2 years ago. So we actually had to give up a lot of traditions, and we started our own. Some of the Polish traditions is the traditional Polish foods. So I will be making pierogi for Christmas. That's a big one. You can't have Christmas without pierogis in it. And a lot of our new ones that we've adapted is just being on our own. And we've actually taken fond of traveling during Christmas. And I know it's a little difficult now with everything going on, but our first year here in Texas, we actually went up to San Antonio and spent Christmas up there. Last year, we took my daughter to Disney for Christmas, and she loved it. Although I don't think we'll ever go to Disney for Christmas again. It was too busy. But this year we'll spend it with a few friends of us. So we've kind of embraced new traditions for the last 2 years.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
So this year during COVID, you gave birth to a child,
I
right?
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we see him?
He's sleeping right now. I don't know. Can you see him? I don't see my camera. Let me check. Where am I? There we go.
So this will be his very first Christmas.
It will be.
So yes, and so it's coming in with a new.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So if you were gonna give like what is it that you would suggest for moms, say, right now, to do with their children? What are you doing with that little 3-year-old?
We'll be baking cookies together. Although it's a little bit of a challenge because she wants to make a mess, but I have some like little Christmas cutouts, so I'll do cookies with her. She helped with putting up the tree. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And Kasha is tell us about Corpus Christi. What is going on down there as far as any holiday things going on, or what's happening on the coast?
I don't know. There hasn't been as many holiday events. There's still been few. There's been a lot of virtual ones. They had I think the tradition here is the boat light parade. So they had the boats in the water decorated with the lights, with the Christmas lights. So they had that. But it's been a little bit more quieter than it was last year.
Yeah, I noticed that about Austin too.
Hmm.
So yeah, well, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
So
You too.
what is happening up in Canada right now? And what are some things you remember growing up? And what do you, Beverly?
Growing up, well, I remember going to my grandparents on my mom's side, and there'd be lots and lots of presents under the tree, and a huge family dinner, the traditional dinner, of course. Um, and then with my own family, I also had a big Christmas. We get a lovely tree and set it up, and my three kids and their dad and my brothers and sisters and my mom and dad would all come to this lovely home that we had. So yeah, really some very good memories. I remember making cookies too, but haven't cooked cookies in a long time. So, or baked. Yeah.
So what are you doing this year that might be new and different?
Well, it's very different. The kids are all in their own households. I've got a daughter in Ottawa and her family's there. My younger daughter is about to give birth. She's due January 9th. So we've got a new one coming in our household too. And my son and his family are here, and due to his health, he's isolating. So I'm pretty much on my own. I have a girlfriend and her partner who've invited me for dinner, and I'm delighted about that. I'll be seeing some other girlfriends, ones that are just safely in a bubble that we've created. And just as we were starting the event today, I received a bouquet of flowers from my family.
Oh,
So yeah. And one of the new traditions I'm creating, I love cardinals. They're indigenous to southeastern and western Ontario. They go right down the coast to Texas. I don't know whether you get any of those. Can you see that very well? Is it bouncing?
it's beautiful. I think it's a little too warm here, but those are beautiful birds.
Yeah, well, I just love those birds, and I love all the birds. So I have bird feeders out at the back. And this year I purchased a warm bird bath.
Oh, hot
That I'm
tub
going to
the bird.
attach, yeah, that I'm going to attach to the rail. In Canada here, we get a lot of cold weather. We don't have any snow right now, but we get usually a lot of cold weather. So apparently the birds like to bathe, even in the wintertime. So I've got a heated bird bath.
I love it. And down here in Texas, we would put air-conditioned bird baths out, right?
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, if you could take a picture of that, and we could always post that. There's so many ideas out there.
Right.
I love it. Yeah. And how about you, Bill? What's going on in California? And talk about maybe something that you remember when you were younger that's a tradition in your family, and what you're going to be doing this year for new.
Well, as a family, I'm Italian, so we'd always have an Italian dinner. We'd have a Christmas Day dinner with all the family. And, we've carried that on into our adulthood, myself, my siblings. And so I'll miss doing that. I'll miss Christmas Eve dinner. I'll miss opening up presents with the grandchildren. That was always a tradition. We would go up to Seattle to see them, and I'd bring gifts. We'd send gifts, but I'd bring gifts for the children when they're little, and I'd take a newspaper or shopping bags, paper bags, and with these little kids that are, 3, 5, and 9. And they're like, what are we doing? And I said, we're wrapping presents. It's just, well, what presents? And I'd bring all these small things I would get. And I would tell them, I'd take them one at a time in to wrap a present and ask them, they're looking at these things like they're not iPhones, they're not these great things they want. They're window thermometers, there's little calculators, there are flashlights, there's little whistles and toys. And I say, well, which one would you want to give your brother? And which one would you want to give your sister? And then we wrap those up first. And I know the one that he or she wanted. And through the years, it became a tradition, a fun tradition that we'd wrap up these crazy things and bring them down and give them to each other and watch their faces. And so we won't be able to do that, but we will go out to see our grandkids and their mom and dad on Christmas Day, and we'll sit outside on the deck, about 10 feet apart, and we'll celebrate as we can. And like you say, these are memories, new memories, the new normal. It's the blessing in it, the lesson in this time and COVID is to really cherish the moments together. Things do change. Life is ever spiraling forward, and it's up to us to enjoy the moment. So
I love that you said that. Yeah, it's I'm trying to think. I get enough feedback here. Okay, I love that you said that, Bill, because it is about cherishing the moments that we're here. And yesterday I was thinking about all the loss that has happened, and then today something happened yesterday where I was like, I shifted, and I met these new people who were also looking for that star. And I wasn't calling it a Bethlehem star, but this lady did. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's about. We're following some kind of star, and who knows who the leader is. Sometimes it's you, Bill. Sometimes it's Kasha. Sometimes it's Beverly. And, we're just following that. And, oh, this is where it is today. So grateful for you. And yeah, Sue, hang on a second. Sue, are you you look like you're frozen, but let's go over to Carol.
I'm here.
From Carolina. Okay, there's Sue. So Sue, we're talking about the old traditions that we remember and then new ones that we're setting. So you want to introduce yourself and where you're from?
I'm Stan Keeper. I'm from Ashburn, Virginia. And we have no power in the house as about 10 minutes. I'm trying to get on set to try to get a signal. And anyways, it's been an interesting time.
No power.
Tradition. Yeah, it just went out twice today. That's not a tradition for me. Although actually it's happened many times. We've had all kinds of traditions throughout the years. I guess are we like specific for like this time of the year or any time of the year?
Right now we're just talking about around this Christmas season. Yeah.
Okay. I think one of my favorite things was hopping in the car and driving around town, looking at all the Christmas lights that everybody had up. Mm-hmm. Just really beautiful. And where I just moved to, I could walk around for probably more. Everybody.
So you're coming in and out on us. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to Carol, and then you can come back in, maybe hop in again. And okay, here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to send power energy to Sue, okay? So go like this. we're putting the power back on in Virginia. We have the power. You ready? Whew. Okay, we're putting power on. What, isn't that like the weirdest thing? Just when you have everything planned, there's a power outage, or just when you have everything planned, there's, and it reminds me of that sacred journey that was taken with, Mary and Joseph saying, maybe like, well, we're going to go get a room over here at this inn. And they're going, oh, sorry. Then what do? You go into a cave and you have a baby with all these animals. They really smelled, and there's so many beautiful traditions around that, having everything planned and then it blowing up and then going through anyway, because the birth is happening anyway. So Carol, come on. I love Carol's from California. So there you go. Hi.
Hello, everybody. I don't remember too many traditions when I was a kid. We always got together with family, and that was always fun. But now, we used to make with my aunts tamales, and we made roco cookies, which are Spanish, and they've all passed away. They're gone. So this year, my sister and I decided that we were going to try to make them ourselves, and they came out beautifully. So we made our tamales, and when we got done, I said, we've got grandma's old recipe for roco cookies from Spain. I said, let's go to the store and buy the stuff, and we're going to try to make them. And so we did, and we made them, and that was terrific. So it was wonderful to be able to share those moments and know that we could do it. And so with that accomplished, it just felt really good, something new. And now we can do that and teach our kids and our grandkids how to do it. And numerology wise, today adds up to 11, and that's my favorite power number. So I'm grateful for that, and especially on this new day of New World Order.
Oh, yes.
And my sister Judy is stable. And I was thinking about it, Judy, and I was very sad about it at first, because it seems like so many people decide to leave the planet this time of the year. And then it dawned on me when I was thinking about the star and the planets aligning, and I thought, what better joyous time of the year could you plan to go home?
And today your sister is stable?
Yes.
Okay. And she's in the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I just wanted a little update of that. And so you and your other sister got together and made the food?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Well, let's put some energy around you.
Thank you.
Yes. Some beautiful energy around you and all of isn't it interesting how we are all going through and in the middle of whatever it is that we're enfolding into you. And I love the fact, could you say that one more time? I think that's really what you were important about leaving the planet and coming back in. What you just said, really, I'm going to write that down.
Well, I just think that it's a marvelous time. I mean, you think about all the joy of Jesus' birth and everything, and what a wonderful time to go home.
Mm-hmm. And also, what a wonderful time for you to be digging up those old recipes.
Yeah. You
and your other sister, and making them. So how did that feel for you and your sister when you made it?
Oh, it felt great. And it was about 10:30 at night when we finished the cookies. And I said, well, what can we go to the store now and buy and try? And we didn't, of course, but it just made us both feel so good that we could do it. And I've had the recipes for a long time, but I just never thought of doing it on my own. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hi, Carolyn. So we're just having this is like a panel, we're around it, and we're talking about some old traditions and what we're creating for new ones. the cool thing is I'm going to make this into a YouTube video, and everybody who watches it will be getting new ideas. And Beverly shared about a bird bath that's heated in Canada. We're making cookies. Bill wrapped some beautiful present. Bill, I really love that idea, for those kids. And one of the things that I wanted to throw this one out. Yesterday, I was on a call with my mastermind partners, and she's from Buffalo, and she said what she is doing is, try this out, you guys, 10 new things each day that you've never, ever done before. And so she said that at first she was writing with her left hand. She'd never done that before. Then another thing, she usually eats in her kitchen table. She took she took herself and she ate in her living room. 2 new things. And then she was going on, and I thought, what a great idea, because, as everything is new, nothing's the same. So embrace that and go out and find 10 new things each day that you've never done before. It doesn't even have to be big. So today I went into a store I never go into because I just don't. And it's the Field and Game store. My son loves to go and feed the ducks, right? And I thought, I know, I'm going to go get him a duck collar, that the hunters use. I went in there and I'm like, oh my God, there's like guts everywhere. There's like all the, hunting stuff, and I don't do that. There's like, whoa. And I walked in there and the guy says, hey, can I help you out? And I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for a duck collar. And he goes, my son likes to feed the ducks. And he looked at me like, you're not going to kill them? I'm like, no, we're feeding them. So anyway, I never did before. And that just uplifted me because I went out of my comfort zone. I went into a place where I don't necessarily definitely wouldn't want to go in there, and then I made myself talk to someone who that is their thing. And I kept trying not to judge as I was looking around. And then I left, I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool. So that's something that I did today. So Carolyn, you want to hop in here and then we're going to close her out. So you want to come in here and maybe share something from your past that you remembered, and then something brand new that you would love to create for this 2020 tradition. You got it. And then just hit that unmute button there. I was like, yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Something from my past, which I continue, is La Crèche, my nativity scene. And for a few years, I would add things to my nativity scene. It's just a little Italian stable with the figures. In fact,
oh, beautiful. Can we see it? Oh,
I'm doing.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have I added a camel. Didn't come with it.
You added a camel?
Yes, and I added a dog, and there's a little pregnant girl in the back that I found.
Julia, we can't hear you. Can you get by the microphone?
I don't know where the microphone is. Apparently,
it's right there. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I added a camel, a dog, and a little pregnant girl who's called Priscilla. And this is part of an industry where they make these little figurines. And this story is that she talked to another pregnant lady that day, and the other lady's name was Mary. And she told Mary not to worry, everything would be fine. It's just a little story that goes with the lady. and she has a cat with her, and I like cats, so she's in my. He's back with the cow.
Oh, look at that.
So I enjoy that. Something for now. Well, we used to have a Christmas Eve dinner with John's son and his wife, and we're not doing that this year. So we're just sharing pictures back and forth of the tree and the way the house looks outside, and we're going to tell each other what we're having for Christmas Eve dinner. So that would be new since we're not doing it together this year.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, what if, because we've had to change so much this year, what if this was the very most blessed, bonding, beautiful Christmas that we've ever experienced? And I was thinking, like, what if, like, this be a year where we mark the rest of our lives to what we did in 2020, and that it grew and grew and grew and grew in love, you know? And who would have thought last Christmas we'd be even talking to anybody from what, Canada or California or whatever, and Hawaii, and that we are basically all going through the same changes, and there's a lot of grief there, a lot of sadness, and that we are deciding to make it joyful. What if? I love it. What if up? You know, we can always what if down, and then we can take this vibration that we're in and what if up. Yeah. So I just wanted to thank each one of you for coming in and sharing. And each one of you is now going to be on YouTube. Yes, yes, yes. And so let's take another deep breath in and rub our hands. We're going to bless, 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 bless this day. Bless that beautiful baby that's falling asleep over there. Blessing the baby's mom. Blessing all the mothers here, all the mothers to be, all the dads and grandpas and grandmas. Yeah, and put a big warm hug around the globe. So thank you so much for sharing this day and all your beautiful light with the entire world. Yeah, so love it. Yeah.